Wagner. Hello, welcome back to the Christmas special today from Singapore. My beautiful, who I actually met in person as well, my very real alive, real human, beautiful Caroline. How are you?
I'm so good because we've been chatting, and it's Saturday night. It's like 11:15 p.m. in Singapore, and I'm raring to go. I'm like so happy we're doing this.
I got 1515 on my watch here.
Have you?
1515. Do you know anything
It's
about
really,
number? You know anything
I
about?
do, I do, I do, I do, I do, I do, because we were singing
Okay, what
ABBA.
does it mean? 1515, 1515.
I'll tell you 1515 in Jinshin Jitsu. The 15 is the number of joy and laughter. And the safety energy lock number 15 is in the groin. So if you have your groin safety energy locks open, the number 15s, then you're going to be full of joy and laughter. And that's the physicality, that's the hip line. So 15 in Jinshin Jitsu is a great number. It goes with the number 6. Can I carry on with this?
Yeah, please.
So 6 is the physical plane. The 6 is in the instep of the foot, where the safety energy lock in Jinshin Jitsu. Then you have the 15, which is a mental emotional plane. And then you have +9 is 24, right? Is just where the little toe and second and fourth toe, not finger. I mean, I'm showing you my hand, where they meet. And that's all about forgiveness. And that's the spiritual aspect of the number 6. 6, 15, 24. Woohoo!
Wow.
I love it.
Okay, you match
So
it.
15, 15, how awesome, right?
Yeah, exactly. Go on. Oh my God, it's 1515. And how
Yeah, I've got
beautiful.
duplicate. I've had, since talking to you, I've had duplicate numbers coming up all over the show. 22, 22 and 11, 11 and gosh.
Yeah, I
You're
think I'm
amazing.
everywhere
You're magic.
lately. Yeah, magic is near.
You're
Anyway,
magic.
by the
Do,
way,
do, do.
magic. How are you celebrating? How magical is Christmas for you? How are you gonna
I
celebrate?
am, listen, I love Christmas. So much, I don't know. Well, you see, I got this one in February on Valentine's Day, and I'm going to let her run off. Um, And I love, I mean, I was going to say I love Christmas more than her, but it's very close. I've always been a real lover of Christmas. We had, when my dad, I mean, no, when we were little, my dad used to cook a big turkey. We'd have everybody around, my mum's extended family. But the precious thing was the night before, and we'd have like, we put out mince pies for Santa Claus, and we put out a glass of sherry for Santa Claus, and my dad would put one of his mathematical puzzles out for Santa Claus. I don't know, he thought Santa Claus would like a mathematical puzzle. And we lived in an apartment, so the whole story about Santa coming through the chimney was really bizarre. So when we went to my grandparents' place in the UK, and I'm in Singapore, I grew up in Singapore, I mean, physically in Singapore. Then we're like, oh, real chimney, the Santa really come down, right? The
Yeah,
chimney.
yeah.
And so that was fun. And then so yeah, no, I love Christmas more than anything, pretty much.
And
I
let me
really love
ask
it.
you,
And I love Advent. I love Advent calendars. I love the works.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God, as a child, we had the most special thing, wasn't it? The calendar. My sister used to
Yeah,
make little bags and put it on the screen, and yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Did
special.
you have in Austria, we have the Advent, how you call it in English, a ground, and you book for,
Yes,
and
it's
it's
yeah,
for
mhm.
free, what's it called?
Yeah, we have that. We have that in church. We don't have it so much in the homes. We have it
But
in church.
what is it called in English? You know what I mean?
It's a
Brand,
wreath, right? The wreath.
wreath. So yeah, we have this. Do you have that in church? So let me ask you, Gattin from church, what kind of religion is it? I mean, what church is it? or how do you celebrate it in church? Is it more Catholic or Christian or Buddhist?
Yeah. So my mum and my grandparents, her parents were quite staunch Roman Catholics. And so midnight mass was always a feature of childhood. Not so much these days since COVID, we kind of got out of the habit and things. You know, because there was no singing in church and things like that over COVID. There was some really, I don't know, the odd regulations. But anyhow, so there's always our church does a very beautiful crib nativity scene, and of course the wreath, you know, and every week there's a new candle that they light, similar to the Easter one. And that's very special. It's not so special now because the priests from before, they all seem to have like a certain touch or a certain energy vibe, you know, that really made you feel very spiritual. And I'm sorry to say that the local priests don't have that.
Okay. But do you
To that
sing
magical
Christmas?
extent yeah.
Do you sing Christmas songs in the church or at home?
So I love my Christmas carols. I love them. And that's the best thing about Church of England, because when I was in a Church of England boarding school, 2 Church of England boarding schools, and I played the flute, and always loved playing my flute over prayer flute and the orchestral one. And so
this
no.
one, wow, I love it. Oh my God, I love that one. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I was always in the choir or in the little chamber orchestra, you know, playing the Christmas carols. That was the most magical part, because I mean, I think the Church of England does Christmas better than Catholics do. Just me. Because the music's more spiritual, more uplifting, more the carols just, you know, grab me more personally.
Yeah.
And the carol services are just so beautiful. So not to knock anything or anybody, I just feel like it's more uplifting, more spiritual. You feel like you're more sort of in that wonderful space of, you know, just worshiping your higher power and not necessarily worrying about details.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different culture. I think it's also to do with the English, and then Christmas becomes more pop music as well, you know,
Oh
the
my
English
gosh.
pop music, whereby in Catholic it's more like, you know, it's not in England, so Catholic is not English speaking per se, right? So
Yeah.
they wouldn't have pop music for Christmas. You know
Well, in England, it's the very old carols, like, you know, We Three Kings and Good King Wenceslas, and my favorite is O Come, Emmanuel. So many angels we have heard on high, God rest ye merry gentlemen, the very traditional ones, that we don't necessarily have in the Catholic Church. I think they're just different ones. But yeah, no, that's a great one. But the thing is, like here, of course, the commerciality of Christmas, that I reject. You know what I mean? Because like the Christmas decorations are always up. And what was great this year is Deepavali, the Hindu festival. So there's an area in Singapore called Little India, and they decorate Little India beautifully for Deepavali. And then a lot of people say, well, you know, Christmas overrides Deepavali because they'll start putting up these massive Christmas trees, you know, like in Oxford Street, wherever else, the equivalent in Singapore on Orchard Road. And they do that very, very early, like towards the middle end of October. I'm like, what the heck, you know, what is far, and you're literally dishonoring another very key community group in Singapore. They make up, you know, Tamils and now the North Indians that are coming to Singapore. So thankfully this year they really made an effort to feature Deepavali as well, and then put up the Christmas decorations, because that was something that to me was, I mean, it was just wrong. But then straight after Christmas, literally on, like, you know, like Boxing Day or the day after, they'll change everything to the Chinese New Year decorations. Like it's a quick
wow,
turnaround.
yeah, you can let go in your
Yeah, so like
cool.
all the Santa Clauses turn into the god of of wealth, you know, and then and you can see sometimes the big long trucks carrying the big mannequins to replace the Santa Clauses with the Chinese deities for Chinese New Year, and they try to
But very
adapt.
nice and colorful always, right?
Very colorful, very bright, very happening. And you'll hear a lot of the Chinese drums because of the dragon dances and the now this year it came back and it felt like it was really something missing over COVID, you know, the boom boom chang and the boom boom chang, and like you feel the atmosphere, yeah. So that's quite cool.
Oh, that's really cool. So what for you? What's the main meaning behind Christmas for you personally? What do you associate
I love that
like?
question. So, what's the meaning of Christmas? So, yeah, I mean, deep down at heart, I'm quite traditional, right? It's about Jesus being born and all that stuff. Of
And
course,
what does
people can
that
say
represent to you, Jesus being born? What does that mean to you?
that means that God sent his son to earth, word for word.
And then?
And okay, there's a bunch of stories around it, right?
Mm.
But for me, what I really feel is that we are here for a reason. I mean, don't take away the story, all right? Because I know, for me, I'm a language person, I'm a translator. I know that these things were passed down by word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth for hundreds of years, and then written down, and then translated, retranslated. You know, and as a translator, I know you can choose different. So that aside, the meaning is, let's say, it's aside from the commercialism, it's a chance for humans to just, you know, be ourselves and enjoy each other's company and enjoy the you know what I mean by the richness of life, like the spice of life. I'm thinking Manhattan Transfer. Are you a fan of Manhattan Transfer? Let's taste the spice of life. Da, 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 till the morning light. Let fantasies unfold. And let your love and flow. Anyway, it's a great song. Just come to mind randomly. So, so
Can make a link.
yeah, I will. So there's a big. My dad was a big fan, and I've seen them in person and in concert. Anyway, so go back to this. It's a great question, and when you think about it, okay, the patriarchy aside, right? It's just a feeling of inner joy, inner peace, inner comfort, inner, you know, oh, tidings of comfort and joy, which is accessible at any time. I'm totally about that, right? This is a once in a year point in time where people put the line in, I mean, the stake in the sand and said 25th December is the date that we're going to celebrate. It could be any day, right? We don't know the exact date that Jesus was born. People have worked it out. For me, that's immaterial. So I don't know if I'm answering the question. I don't know how many
Yeah, but
close to
yeah, no, you are. Yeah.
it just means that there's that anticipation right now. You know what I mean? We're gearing up to the advent calendar, counting down. The candles are going to be lit. The house will be decorated. And I find it, you know, like in Australia, you know, they do a barbecue for Christmas Day, right? When in the
I
UK
had that in Brazil. It's so different, honestly. And I can
yeah,
imagine in Singapore so different to the UK. It's really interesting
it's
that
completely
you know,
different. Yeah.
yeah.
So I spent one Christmas in Germany, and I was with this boyfriend, and we had raclette on
Oh
Christmas Eve
yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've become a big fan. I love raclette now,
Or
and
fondue. Fondue is nice as well.
fondue is
Oh
amazing.
my God.
Fondue I love. Fondue is a bit more common though. I hadn't had raclette before, and so we had this lovely dinner, and then we drove with all the proper ham and stuff and everything. I love my ham, proper ham, and in moderation. Okay, why did I say that? And then we had a lovely Christmas day, you know, with the snow and everything. I was in Heidelberg. It's a beautiful, beautiful. So we
Oh
drove
yeah,
to yeah, we drove to Strasbourg. We went to the Christmas markets. That's the atmosphere, you know, that I really love, and everybody making their stuff and making the Christmas things. I just find it really magical. It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. I mean, the environment around makes you feel Christmas, isn't it? I mean, many years like it's Christmas, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think, as you said, it should be every day, really, right? It's like
right.
and like making the big. It's a lot of pressure as well in some way because you have to be with the party, right? Everyone is having a party. Now you have to be in it. Yeah, let's celebrate and yeah, you know what I mean? Can be pressure sometimes
Absolutely.
for some
I hear
people.
you. I hear you 100%. Yeah, very, very much so. And that's why I'm very, very careful. So, you know, our family's much smaller now, right? So, you know, it's just like last year was just me, my mum, my husband.
Get that?
I think that was it. Maybe I think my auntie and my uncle came over. And we just got Nando's, literally.
Yeah,
You know?
brilliant.
And it was
Yeah,
perfect because
yeah,
we were together and we forgot all our differences. Actually, the rest of the year everybody's fighting.
yeah.
We got together and we played we always had the crackers and the party hats and stuff like that. And it was just a lovely time to, you know, be ourselves and enjoy each other's company and forget about who's done what and messed up
Yeah.
whoever, and yeah, and the stories, and reset a bit, you know, and then you always feel a bit the cheerfulness afterwards, and the Glühwein helps, of course.
Oh yeah, of
The
course.
mulled wine.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah,
that what I love on Austria. You have the little cottages, all over
right.
the really, and they serve hot wine, you buy hot
Yes,
Glühwein, and
yes,
then
yes, spicy.
sausage and hot dog and uh,
Yes,
maroni, what is the horse nut? No, what chestnut? The
right.
what is
Yes,
called
chestnuts.
chestnut,
Yes, yes, yes. We love
and
those. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
we have them as well.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
so the best story was my dad would always stuff the turkey and always forget, he'd always make this elaborate stuffing with the chestnuts and the works, and then forget to take the stuffing out. It would always be in the car. "Oh, I found the stuffing," like, you know, when he's packing up later. That was one feature of having dad around. So yeah, no, there's was always a very special atmosphere at our place. Yeah, it's
Brilliant.
kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Love it, love it.
So
What
what
about
is,
you? What's your take on Christmas and things? I think we had a chat last year about it.
yeah, I don't know, I don't make a big fuss about it, it is what it is. I think because I was living, because in Austria it's more like I said, you have a little market and the Christmas
Yeah.
lights, and my village was
Mm,
small, and it's very lots of light, and then it's more in your face. And in
mm,
London, it's 24/7 all year sale and buy and sale and
mm.
flash and kick and buy capitalism. So for 20 years,
Yes.
I didn't want to, you know. I remember once my mom and my sister came to London when in the 80s.
Yeah.
Now I'm like 98, 99, something like that. And I just go on my bike, and my mom had, it
Wow.
was funny, but we had pancake in the end. And I only was living in a little room like a backseat, and all the three of us, and then we have pancake together. And yeah, and my mom and my sister were blown away by how many people were in the supermarket on the 24th. And it
Gosh.
was, no, in a good way, it was like, forget me, it was like a mega
Yes.
capitalism flesh, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I have to say I make a point of celebrating it in one way or the
Mm.
other, even if it's just go. buy me a bag of meal, for example, or make more effort for a meal, you know, and choose good, I don't know, and have a glass of wine. I mean, I'm celebrating it, of course. And most importantly,
Absolutely.
yeah. So yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. And also, you know, it makes sense that it's been wintertime because I mean here in the tropics we've got no seasons, you know what I mean? So makes no difference whatsoever. But Christmas also is a time when you care about the less fortunate and the people who've got no parties to go to, or no, they're alone in this party that they're just randomly at, right? That's worse when you're surrounded with people and you're alone. So it's a time for, and it is all year round, yeah. So my particular group of, my heart goes out to the foreign workers in Singapore, you know, who spent COVID locked into their dormitories, literally eight men in one room, unable to go out and stuff, and just going to work, coming back, and the COVID was just recycling amongst them, and it still is to some extent. So things like, you know, like Deepavali, Christmas, you know, is when groups come together and reach
Help
out
each
to
other.
the
Yeah.
reach out, yes, yeah, to not necessarily less fortunate, but people who want that special heart. You know, it might not be the Chinese people who get the ang pao at Chinese New Year. That's a different story. I find money as gifts is a different thing. You know, when you give somebody a gift from the heart, it's a whole different thing to here's a money packet. For me, that's a big deal. But the spirit of giving, I think, is a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's
we all have enough
my
to
other
give.
2 cents.
You know,
I'm full of it.
I
Yeah.
give in hug, you know, you get people who just give hugs out there and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
you know, okay, you don't have to give in a, you know, yeah, just your presence is very
A
giving.
big hug. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is your
Honor the
message?
human.
What can,
Sorry?
what is your Christmas message?
Okay, the cliche that comes to mind is there's a reason for the season. That's the cliche that comes to mind.
Oh my God,
Um,
I never
yeah.
heard that.
No, really,
Yeah,
there's a reason for the
seriously.
season. And that's because, you know, I grew up in a Church of England, not grew up, I mean, I was at a Church of England boarding school, like I said, and so people would be like militantly against people calling it Xmas because then you're canceling out the Christ of Christmas. But then since then, you know, there's been in the UK like things like they call it the Winter Bowl rather than Christmas Festival. I don't know too much about that because I wasn't in the UK when this I mean, since this has started happening. Um, and things like that is, you know, why can't we just honor and look for the good in each other's celebrations, right? And honor the fact that okay, Chinese New Year is for what it is, you know, and just allow ourselves to be fascinated and join in and not say, oh, you know, you're worshiping.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, right? Chinese New Year, they allowed Chinese people to bring the orange. You know, you give each other oranges at Chinese New Year. It's always a pair of mandarin oranges, and you can always get them in the local convenience stores and everything. So Chinese New Year, you're allowed to bring your oranges to be blessed. And when I first heard of that, I was like, that's so wrong. That's nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever, you know. Then I realized actually it's just like celebrating the harvest festival in church.
Yeah.
You're
True.
celebrating God's bounty,
Mm-hmm.
God's, you know what I mean? So there's always something behind it that maybe got lost in translation. And a money packet for somebody might be much more practical than here, I give you a toaster or I give you a, you know, here's a flower. People can use them. I don't know. You look for the good and look for the harmony, look for the understanding, look for the reason for the season, you know.
Reason for the season. Also,
Mm,
anytime you bless something, it's good, right? If you bless
yeah,
your oranges, regardless if it's a
for
festival or
sure.
not, you know, it's always to
Absolutely.
bless
That was
your
my
food.
judgmental first
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, you know,
We all have
yes,
that, it's the
we all bless
program,
it.
and I
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
totally. And they're all different forms of blessing in different ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
a
part of that.
program.
Yeah, and to look for the good of like, so the other major festivals in Singapore, each religious group gets two. So the Muslims have two, obviously the Eid, there's two Eids, right? We have, but we call them, the Malay name is Hari Raya Haji, Hari Raya Puasa, which after the Eid, that's after the fasting month.
Okay.
And, you know, to look at the dedication and the devotion and, you know, see what we can, how we can be blessed by that and how we can bless that in return. And I think there's so much of, oh, you know, your religion's wrong and this religion's wrong and all that. And that disturbs me. So, you know, message really being, look for the good. What's the reason for anybody's season? Let's tweak it. What's the reason for anybody's season? And find out, you know, and be curious to learn, I think. That was a long answer to a short question, as
Beautiful.
usual.
I love it. I love you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Have a
Oh, honey,
wonderful,
yeah.
beautiful, amazing, enjoyable Christmas. And I'll see you before the new year anyway, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll
Love you
just,
loads. Thanks for talking. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.